differently.
Welcome back, and you're watching Abled Differently. Although polio has been eradicated in many countries, there are still countries that are struggling to end it via vaccination. Rotary has been at the forefront in helping towards this cause. Every October, they mark the day to create more awareness and raise funds. Take a look.
Polio is a disease caused by the polio virus and has extreme side effects that lead to disability.
I was told that polio caught up with me when I was already working, and that means I was told by my mother that I worked very fast at 10 months, and after I started working, then the polio came. And because of my mom, it didn't keep me down. She did everything to ensure that I grow up to a human being. I was her last born. So in our place, the last borns are regarded as very close to their mothers. And she did everything. I can remember when I was very young, there used to be a hole, because you know there are so many people in the village who are advisors and medical ones for that matter. So people used to tell my mom that now that you have a child who has been crippled and cannot go to school, then you need to dig some hole and be putting him there so that his legs can be straight and he can walk.
The funny thing about polio, it cannot be detected like immediately. So they think you have a pneumonia, they will think of everything that particular time. And my mom said that when they were told that your child will never be able to walk again, she could not believe those words. But that was the truth. And she went and broke the same news to my dad. And my dad said, no, that cannot be true. And where I come from, our culture looks at disability as a curse, as something that you have affected the gods, the parents have broken a taboo. So that means this child must be locked in the house so that they don't lose their status of belonging in the society.
Polio is something that perhaps those who are younger have no immediate experience of. But in the past, it afflicted many children who are not able to go to school, to live normal lives, to have equal opportunities to do the things that they desire.
While it has been around for a long time, currently most of the countries in the world have managed to contain it through immunization.
2 years ago, the Afro region was declared polio-free. And since then, there have been some misconceptions about the polio eradication initiative. People tend to think that the work has already been completed. Unfortunately, there are still some countries that have been mentioned here that are still endemic, and wherever you have the polio virus, it does not recognize borders. So even though the African continent has a polio-free certification, viruses can still be imported across the border.
In Kenya, we are giving the vaccine, the polio vaccine, as a 4-dose schedule, which is given at birth, at 6 weeks, at 10 weeks, and at 14 weeks. And at 14 weeks, we also give an injectable vaccine.
To help in its eradication, organizations such as Rotary have helped in raising funds and creating awareness.
We're part of a global organization of 1.2 million members in over 200 countries and 46,000 clubs. So while we work as ourselves, we do have collective initiatives, global initiatives, and our number one global initiative is the eradication of polio. It's a process that we have been on for over 30 years.
How do we get polio? We get polio because we drink contaminated water that has human waste disposal has not been what it is. And today, polio can be anywhere. There was a story not so long ago about the isolation of the virus in the water in New York, in a posh hotel. And that means that anyone can get vulnerable. And we are here to remind ourselves of the need to eradicate, completely get rid of that disease.
On the 23rd of October, Rotary District 9212, comprising Kenya, Ethiopia, Eritrea, and South Sudan, held a walk to mark World Polio Day.
In our district, we hope to raise $400,000 for the fight against polio, but it's a global initiative. We accept other partners to come along with us so that we're able to get rid of polio for good.
Although many countries are polio-free, early detection is key to prevent its spread.
We support mainly in the Horn of Africa and the border counties, and also within the country overall, where we are able to support surveillance, ensuring that the waters are tested in case anyone has any features of what we call acute flaccid paralysis. That stool is tested, and we're able to detect polio as early as possible if it's there. And with that, we are also able to ensure that everyone is screened.
What we seek to achieve is really to get acceptance at ground level, to get parents to bring forward their children, not just for the first vaccination, but for the 4 that are required really to have a permanent immunity against polio. That a child that's immunized will prevent them from passing it on to other children.
Lucy Mecca from the Ministry of Health affirmed the importance of immunization.
As we know, immunization saves lives, and it is one of the most cost-effective health interventions. Actually, we say that after clean water, immunization is the next cost-effective intervention. And when we look at polio disease, we have seen here the devastation that polio has caused, and we are happy that our ambassadors have been able to overcome those effects of the disease. However, we must continue to see that we prevent this disease, and we are thankful that there are vaccines that are there against this disease. It affects mainly children under 5, and because of vaccines being available, we have saved more than 20 million children globally from paralysis over the years. These vaccines have been available since the 1950s, and they have resulted in success in the fight against the disease. We have eradicated various strains of this disease, and we still remain with the one strain that needs to be eradicated.
Polio warriors are also on the front line in awareness creation to help in ending polio for good.
I really want to convey my appreciation and also happy to be part of the eradication of polio. I would ask, you have been asked many times, but I would just ask that we shout that again. Kindly, everybody. Can we do that? Please, let's go. End polio for good.
We improve the environment through training of our faculty members, training of the staff, to embrace inclusive practices. And this is the only thing we can do to those whom we became the victims of polio. Now, I request all of you, as we end the polio for good, those whom we have it, kindly work with us. The society is hostile, and it rejects persons with disability like immediately.
Let's take a look at the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities.
Article 25 of the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities states that state parties shall, Part B, provide those health services needed by persons with disabilities, specifically because of their disabilities, including early identification and intervention as appropriate, and services designed to minimize and prevent further disabilities, including among children and older persons.
And here is the tip for the day.
We improve the environment through training of our faculty members, training of the staff, to embrace inclusive practices. And this is the only thing we can do to those whom we became the victims of polio. Now, I request all of you, as we end the polio for good, those whom we have it, kindly work with us. The society is hostile, and it rejects persons with disability like immediately.
That's all the time we had for you today, but be sure to join us every other Saturday when time and space allows. I've been your host, Jen Theory. Goodbye.
We are here and we are strong. Let's be counted as we move on. Make a difference, change lives as we tell our different stories. We are capable, beautiful. We are born to do great things. We're unstoppable, incredible, 'cause we're differently abled, differently.